From our Chicago studios, this is the Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum, I'm Samana Siddiqui. Our top story tonight. A Muslim nonprofit is suing the town of Oyster Bay in New York State for denying a mosque expansion project. The group Muslims on Long Island and two congregants filed a federal lawsuit alleging 6 years of opposition to upgrade Masjid al-Baqi. The lawsuit seeks to challenge what the organization describes as systemic discrimination and protect religious liberty. The complaint claims the town changed parking laws in 2022, knowing the mosque could not meet the new requirements. The Muslim plaintiffs accuse officials and residents of discriminatory tactics, including Islamophobic social media posts. Nassau County legislator Rose Walker, who opposes the project, cited traffic and parking concerns. Mosque leaders say expansion is critical for religious classes and community events. They say children study on the prayer area floor due to a lack of classrooms. Representing the plaintiffs, attorney Muhammad Faridi called the case a fight for religious freedom, emphasizing the right to worship without prejudice. Oyster Bay officials dismissed the claims as baseless and insisted their policies ensure fairness. The White House has ordered a temporary halt on all federal grants and loans. It affects more than $3 trillion in financial assistance and took effect today. An internal memorandum says the pause aims to align funding with the administration's priorities. These include tackling inflation, boosting energy and manufacturing, and promoting government efficiency. Key assistance programs like Social Security and Medicare will not be affected. However, the suspension includes foreign aid, NGO funding, diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, as well as environmental projects tied to the Green New Deal. The memo highlights that the pause will allow a review of agency programs to ensure funding aligns with President Donald Trump's vision for a stronger and safer America. The move is part of a broader effort to streamline spending and prioritize taxpayer funds. President Donald Trump has signed 5 executive orders to reshape the U.S. military. One order eliminates diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI, initiatives, while another bans transgender individuals from serving openly in the military. Trump says this will create the most lethal fighting force by removing transgender ideology. He also announced the development of an Iron Dome missile defense system to protect Americans, saying, "We protect others, but not ourselves." Another order reinstates military personnel discharged for refusing COVID-19 vaccines, restoring their rank and full pay. Speaking in Miami, Trump emphasized these changes aim to strengthen the military and refocus its priorities. Google says its maps will adopt President Donald Trump's preferred names for Mount Denali and the Gulf of Mexico. Trump has renamed them Mount McKinley and the Gulf of America. In an executive order signed on his first day in office on January 20th, Trump directed the Secretary of the Interior to implement the changes within 30 days. In a statement on X, Google indicated any name changes on Google Maps driven by the U.S.'s Geographic Names Information System would follow the company's long-standing policy. The statement said when the U.S. information system makes the changes, the company will update Google Maps. Since President Donald Trump began his second term last week, more than 2,000 undocumented migrants have been arrested. On Monday alone, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, detained 1,179 migrants, up from 956 on Sunday. Tuesday saw a continuation of the effort, with numbers expected to remain high. Border crossings also dropped significantly, with fewer than 600 illegal entries reported on Sunday, the lowest since Trump's inauguration on January 20th. In the 9 southern border sectors, daily crossings totaled just 582 on January 26th, with no sector reporting more than 200 crossings. For comparison, the Del Rio sector recorded only 60 crossings, down from more than 4,000 per day during December's border crisis under President Joe Biden. Trump declared a national emergency at the border during his inauguration, promising to halt illegal entries and deport what he called millions of criminal aliens. Immigration raids have targeted Arizona, California, and Texas, while deportation flights have already sent migrants back to countries including Mexico, Honduras, and Colombia. The administration says these efforts mark the beginning of an intensified focus on border security. Navajo Nation officials are alarmed by reports of federal law enforcement targeting Indigenous people in Arizona and New Mexico. At least 15 Navajo people have reported being detained or questioned by Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, since last week. Navajo Nation President Boo Nygren condemned these actions, citing the traumatic effect on citizens. He urged Navajo residents to carry photo IDs or certificates of Indian blood to avoid detention. Migrant also launched Operation Rainbow Bridge to assist Navajo citizens facing immigration-related issues and provide guidance on dealing with ICE confrontations. The raids come amid President Donald Trump's aggressive immigration policies, including mass deportation plans and expanded enforcement. ICE has recorded thousands of arrests over the past few days, sparking criticism from communities and local governments. Less than 24 hours after call with Premier Narendra Modi, Trump slams India on tariffs. Details after the break, so stay tuned and we'll be right back. Welcome back. Less than a day after his first phone call with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, President Donald Trump criticized India, China, and Brazil as tremendous tariff makers. He said his administration would no longer allow such practices, emphasizing his America First policy. The call between the two leaders on Monday was described as productive, focusing on strengthening U.S.-India ties, regional security, and trade. Trump urged India to increase purchases of U.S.-made security equipment and move toward what he called a fair bilateral trade relationship. The U.S. is India's largest trading partner, with bilateral trade exceeding $118 billion last year, creating a $32 billion surplus for India. Modi is set to visit the U.S. in February to enhance strategic cooperation. However, Trump's sharp remarks on India's trade policies have raised eyebrows. OpenAI has launched ChatGPT Gov, a specialized AI platform for U.S. government agencies. Built for secure use, it allows agencies to input sensitive and non-public data while maintaining security in their hosting environments. The platform, based on ChatGPT Enterprise, operates on Microsoft Azure's government cloud to meet privacy and compliance needs. It is designed for tasks like drafting policies, summarizing documents, coding, and application development. OpenAI acknowledges concerns about AI's risks, such as data privacy and bias. The company has assured ChatGPT Gov complies with strict usage policies. It also says the program will benefit agencies handling sensitive data, such as defense and healthcare. OpenAI leaders emphasize the urgency of maintaining U.S. leadership in AI amid global competition, particularly with rivals like China's DeepSeek. CEO Sam Altman also signaled support for President Donald Trump's administration, stirring debate about tech regulation and industry ties. 2 Palestinians, including a 5-year-old girl, were killed in Israeli attacks in Gaza despite the ceasefire agreement. Nadia Mohammed al-Amoudi was killed and 3 people were wounded after the Israeli army shelled a horse cart late Monday west of the Nusayrat refugee camp. In a separate incident, a Palestinian man was killed and several people wounded after Israeli forces bombed a bulldozer attempting to remove a vehicle stuck in Nusayrat. The ceasefire, which has been active since January 19th, has seen more than 300,000 Palestinians return to the war-ravaged northern enclave to find widespread destruction. Economist Maher Tiba reports that more than 80% of Gaza's industrial and commercial infrastructure has been destroyed, severely affecting livelihoods. The Israeli military continues its presence along the Philadelphia corridor near Rafah, deeming areas within 700 meters of the border a red zone. Rafah Mayor Ahmed al-Sufi called the situation extremely dangerous, even outside restricted areas. In the West Bank, Israeli forces have intensified operations in Tulkarem, evicting families, besieging a hospital, and blocking ambulances. UN experts warn of escalating Israeli repression in the region. Israel's genocide in Gaza has killed at least 47,317 Palestinians and wounded 111,494 since October 7, 2023. Last November, the International Criminal Court issued arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant for crimes against humanity in Gaza. Israel also faces a genocide case at the International Court of Justice for its genocide in Gaza. Tensions remain high in Mays al-Jabal, southern Lebanon, as Israeli forces stay past a ceasefire deadline. Despite an agreement requiring Israel's withdrawal within 60 days, a 24-day extension was granted by mediators, including the U.S. Displaced Lebanese civilians have started returning home, but faced Israeli gunfire, killing and injuring dozens. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office claims the withdrawal timeline is ambiguous and accuses Lebanon of not fully implementing ceasefire terms. The fragile ceasefire, which has been effective since November 27th, ended months of conflict between Israel and Hezbollah. Under its terms, Israel was to withdraw south of the Blue Line while the Lebanese army deployed in the area. Since October 8, 2023, Israel's offensive has killed 4,080 people in Lebanon, including women and children, and injured more than 16,750, according to the country's health ministry. International Criminal Court prosecutor Karim Khan plans to seek arrest warrants for people linked to war crimes in Darfur, Sudan. Speaking at a UN Security Council session, Khan highlighted famine, escalating conflict, and targeted violence against women and children in the region. Khan described the evidence as strong and emphasized the priority of addressing gender-based violence. He confirmed his office is preparing arrest warrant applications for alleged crimes in West Darfur, ensuring they have a realistic prospect of conviction. The war between the Sudanese army and paramilitary rapid support forces since April 2023 has killed tens of thousands of people. Both sides are accused of war crimes, including targeting civilians. Khan urged compliance with international humanitarian law to end the suffering in Darfur, calling on all parties to prioritize humanity over political motives. The Muslim Council of Britain's first female and youngest Secretary General, Zahra Mohammed, has stepped down after a 4-year term. Her leadership ended on January 27th and was defined by rising Islamophobia, government disengagement, and efforts to unite and empower Muslim communities across the UK. The council represents more than 500 mosques, schools, and charities and has been at the forefront of advocacy. Mohammed takes pride in amplifying women's voices and fostering interfaith dialogue, visiting more than 300 organizations during her tenure. It coincided with a surge in anti-Muslim hate crimes. 4,971 incidents were recorded in a single year, the highest in over a decade, according to the organization Tell Mama UK. She herself faced harassment, including online abuse and threats while commuting. During the Southport riots last year, false rumors linking a stabbing to a Muslim asylum seeker led to attacks on mosques and Muslim taxi drivers. Mohammed described the violence as terrifying, emphasizing urgent government intervention. The UK government has not formally engaged with the Muslim Council since 2009, citing allegations of extremism, which the council denies. Mohammed called for renewed dialogue, saying what happened 14 years ago cannot justify silence today. Her successor, Dr. Mohammed Wajid Akhtar, aims to modernize the council. He has pledged to conduct a comprehensive review and create local Muslim councils across the UK. That's all from our Chicago studios tonight. Thank you for watching Muslim News. We are a community channel dedicated to bringing you stories you can trust. Please like, share, and subscribe to our content. You can also comment to let us know what you think of our coverage. Donate now by visiting muslimnetwork.tv/donate. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV. Salam.